Who's going to start on time? This guy. Give me a couple minutes, get some more coffee, and we'll rock and roll. All right, good morning, everybody. So we're going to start making some changes, get a little more formal with this, set it up a little bit stronger. For now, let's just get into it. Let's rock and roll. So there's a lot to go over as far as what to expect on the day, I think. But I think the most important thing for us to look at is just watching the 63 level and seeing if we're going to be able to hold that. Are we going to be able to get over that? Are we not going to be able to get over that? We seem to be battling it really nicely today from my perspective. Let's get rid of everything and just look at price. So we're trying. I don't know that we're going to be able to, but this is the way that I see the world, and I'm going to drop it in for an hourly here. Got a lot of questions last night on that cloud system. That's a cloud system I created. I could tell you part of it, but that's really it. It's like Fight Club. You just don't talk about Fight Club. But the reason I was pointing it out is it's very glaring and it's very accurate. That's not going to be helpful, is it? So how do I fix that? Is this something I can fix now, or is this going to turn to a, there it is, boom, who's a winner? I am, I'm already winning, jeez. All right, so you can see up here the breakout, but you're really in this range, right? I mean, you've really been in that range for a period of time, and if we go here and just take a look at this, go straight across, and you'll see what I mean. And we'll change the color on this because that way, middle line, what middle line? All right, that's where they're playing games with me today. So you can see that, right? This is where you popped out. Candidly, if you wanted to just see how obvious this is, what you would do is just make that there, and then you come over, and then you just make this one right here. And you can see exactly what I'm talking about. We'll make these all the same color. I don't know why they have a middle line. Whatever that middle line does, let's play with it. See what that does. It gives me a middle line. Huh. Okay. Anyway, so if you see what's going on here, you can see the range we've been in. We've been in this range now for a while, guys. on the ES. All we're doing is what I love to see, rotation, rotation, rotation. But for about 3 weeks, guys, you've been in the same range. You can see right here, the 15. So that tells you what you've been dealing with. And yes, I'm a little extended, 6 hours. So let's just do the 15. So what's that telling us? I don't really think there's a lot to do here unless you get through. I think you deal with the rotation and you make money off the rotation. But candidly, I don't know that there's much more to do other than that. And I think that would make the most sense. So we'll go from there and we'll see how that plays out. But I really don't think that, we got to do more than that. I really don't. So keep that in mind. I mean, that's really where my head is with everything. I think you just ride the wave now. And what I think you should be doing, if I could give you, one thing that I think you should be doing every single day is this. We talked about this a lot, but I was really thinking about like, hey, how can I really, add value today? I think it's like one of the things to do is to kind of hammer some of these points home that I'm trying to get through to you, on a longer basis. So if I went here, right, just to kind of put this in perspective, we're going to make this a line, and then we're just going to run through these. And we're just going to click on this one, and then we click the XLE, XLP. I don't know that I'm going to do them all, but I'm going to show you what XBI, XLK. All right, and then we'll just do, let's do the SOX and drop the SOX in, and then we'll drop in cloud, right? And we're going to make sure that XLRE is in here, but I already think it is, right? Yeah, it is. So what you would do is you would drop all these in, and let's make sure that XLE is in here. I'm pretty sure it is, but I don't see it. So we'll put XLE in there. We'll put XLC since that's been a monster. And let's put the financials in there, and then we'll put regionals in there as well. So this is something that you should be looking at a lot, and you should just have a chart set up this way, however you want to call it, whether you call it like sector, right? Just call it sector, okay? And I put sector line because I don't even know what that other one is, and I'm going to erase something I need. And you click remember symbol, and you click remember interval. All right. So now I have this whenever I want it. Now, that's just TradingView, by the way. I don't care what system you use. So then I can kind of see what's going on in the world, right? But here's where it gets interesting. You look at the 1 minute and you click off of this, and you just look at the 1 minute, and you can see what happened yesterday. As my niece always says, what happened? So that you can kind of see what happened here, right? All right, so who's winning yesterday? Biotech's winning. Regionals are winning. Real estate's winning. All right, I've got XLP duped in here twice. Sorry. Let's find that. Let's clean up that nonsense. Stop with that nonsense right now. So, and you can so what you're doing is you're getting a lay of the land, okay? You're understanding that SOX is not where it's at. You're understanding that where you're at now. Now, here's something to blow your mind with. You're not going to remember all this, right? So what you can do, and what you can do with this system is you can take a picture of this. Okay, I just downloaded it right here. And then you can look at it at the end of the day. And then you can compare what moved and what didn't move. And now you have a snapshot on what happened today and what happened at the end of today, right? And then you can compare it, because if I go back and I go, well, I can just go to the third. Well, you can, but it starts getting a little convoluted, doesn't it? Whereas if I have a snapshot, it gets a little cleaner, doesn't it? So I would suggest that you do that. You can always go back in time this way and go to a 5 and like drill into it and go, okay, well, give me just December. All right, let's just go look at December. What's happened in December? And you can see, okay, regionals, biotech, software. Okay, if someone told you in December, real estate investment trusts were going to outperform the SOX, you wouldn't say they were going to, right? You wouldn't say that it's close to cloud. You certainly wouldn't say regional banks are going to outperform software, but we knew that. We've been talking about it. It's what we're doing in the room. I mean, if you're listening to this and you're in the room, you're not seeing me add software names. You're seeing me add REITs and regionals. Anyway, so you can see what's going on here, but also look at what it's telling you. What's the worst performing one? XLP, defensive. So it's not like they're going defensive, right? So when you start connecting all that, you can get a better picture. But I think if you take one thing away, I'd be looking at this daily, and I'd get into that little snapshot thing I just taught you right there. So I think that's a little bit of value today that you're probably not going to get anywhere else. And I think that that's something that that will help you going forward. So let's clean up all my nonsense and let's get back into it and figure out how we're going to rule the world today. First thing I would say to you is just S5FD. At the time of recording that video last night, I showed it at 90. It's actually at 80. I tried to get ahead and record it last night ahead of time. It's already down. Trying to plan, guys. And what I would say to you right now is, what do you do here? Just understand where you are. If your stock's below the 5-day moving average, you're probably in the wrong stock, okay? You start going through all these over here, there's very little to say. I mean, stocks above the 200-day or over 60, you cannot be bearish for very long here. You have to assume that these pullbacks are going to rotate, these pullbacks are going to get bought, and you kind of have to go from there. The one thing I do want to say to everybody, like Bitcoin, look, I have my opinion on this trade. The idea that the Saudi government or Qatar is going to put a large investment into Bitcoin is just the most laughable thing in the world. They're not going to do that. They create, like, if you could create your own currency, why in God's name would you do this? It makes no sense whatsoever. So just keep that in mind. I saw a really interesting report last night from like 1996 on who created Bitcoin. It's fascinating, actually. Anyway, if you take a look at this, I'd be real careful about running into those names here. You're holding, so that's great. Let's see how this goes. Would I buy this here now? And you know, for like the people that love Bitcoin, if you're trading it like a store value, why aren't you buying it here? Why are you buying it now? I mean, you're trying to pick up like the pieces when here was the double, and no one on the internet was out here telling you to buy it down here. So, you know, just do it that way you will. But if we look at how all this is playing out, I still think the move is going to be this RTY. I still think small caps are going to rule the roost today. And I'd be looking at those. I would really focus on those levels. 945, you have a bunch of data coming out, and pay attention to that data. Like, really pay attention to that data. I think that data can move the market today. I really do. And I think that's definitely something that we're going to have to pay attention to for sure. So, but just FYI, I'm going to try and start these at, 8:30 on the dot at the latest from now on. Let me see if I can find this data and just drop it in for us this way instead of flipping screens. Give me 1 second, guys. Should be able to catch this and then just drop it in. And I don't even see bond auctions today. There usually is a bond auction, but I don't see one today. Got a Fed speaker, of course. Why not? Probably more than one somewhere out there. And let's just drop this in, and then we'll go from there. So this is what's coming out today. 945 global services PMI. PMI has always been higher. PMI has always been higher, and we would expect that to continue to be higher. So that's something I pay attention to. Jolt's job, 9.3. They're going to expect that to come way down. If jobs drop a lot, which they very well could drop a lot. Remember, we showed that chart on FCI and how FCI is imploding. You're going to want to watch that. Okay, it's definitely something you're going to want to pay attention to. So, FYI. As far as names, there's a ton of names out there. I would just argue that you're starting to see a little bit of frolics out there. Starting to see a little bit of weakness. You're starting to see the VIX actually start to hold 13. About 2 weeks ago, I said something, and I still stick with it. Do we have less risk to the market than we did pre-pandemic? I don't feel that way. So I don't think the VIX should be here. I really, really don't think the VIX should be here. And I think that's something that we definitely have to watch. So it's not where I think the VIX should be. So let's keep that in mind. I think it should be higher. But what I think and what happens are, it really doesn't matter what any of us think, right? It is what it is. But I do. I don't know anyone's going to tell me that we have less risk in the market now than we did. I don't know how you could feel that way. So, but let's go from there, and we'll see how that plays out. I think it's going to go higher. I look at the bond market. Bond market's at 420, and you're gapping down. look, I'll throw it out there. I think there's a chance he cuts in January, personally, but you're cutting by March. There's no way that he's not going to have to. He's going to have to, and it's going to drive prices up. But look at the numbers and how this is going. And once again, what is it? Small caps, small caps, small caps. So I think next year you're going to have the year of, like, it's going to be the year of alpha. It's going to literally be the year of, like, the stock pickers market. I thought it'd be this year. Sometimes I'm early. I thought it'd be this year, but it's not. And we've been picking stocks, doing stock picking stuff in the community. It's been going well. You should have gotten an email last night on the majority of you. I think one more goes out today, 12 hours left. And then the community will be closed until next year. And then I don't know when I'm opening up next year. I have to really look at that because we had a lot of people join. And I talk to every single person or give the opportunity to. Sorry for the slurping, but it's that kind of day. So, I was up late last night reading research reports. Coin, I'd watch. I'm short coin. I'll just throw it out there and annoy a bunch of people. What else? GME. I'm not gonna lie. I am long and strong GME. It's not even my idea. It was a gentleman this is why I love the community so much. It's actually why I even love, like, the pre-market. Like, I love doing these pre-market publics. I'm not going to lie. I absolutely love it. It's why I want to start adding more value, to start getting more people in here. Because you guys find stuff that I'm not even looking at. Like, John gave us, what did John give us? GDDY. I mean, I could put my knowledge to it, which is cool, but it's not my idea, right? I just put my knowledge with it. And, like, what am I up? I think I'm up 12, 13 bucks. So in that, I also think we should probably start doing that, like a competition. Like there's a prize at the end of the month or something. Something else I can do with all my free time. Anyway, that's where my head is going. But, like, one of the guys in the room threw this out there, and he was dead right. I mean, he nailed it. The volume, the gap, the whole thing, like right here. This is where we got involved. I got in at 1270. I'm still in. I am going to do a video on this to explain what we're doing. I'm teaching it in the room while we're trading it. But what I'm doing with this trade is, as it pops up, I'm not selling stock. I'm marrying puts to it. So it's limiting my, it's not limiting my upside. It's raising my cost, right? Because I have to add that cost basis and that loss of puts to it over and over again. But now I'm up to like 1650s that I paid like $1 and change for. So let's say my cost with everything in is like $15. And then I have massive out of the money upside calls on it as well. So, like, I have the whole thing hedged from that perspective. And I could lose money on it all. It could go flat, of course. But at that point, I'm in at 1270, right? My worst case scenario now, I'm in at 1270. My worst case scenario at the end of December or the end of this week is $15. I'll do that all day long that's my worst case, all day long to stay in that trade, right? I mean, it just makes sense. It just makes perfect sense to do that, right? So, and if you do it the other way, take 1270 and you just add the cost to them, you'd say, okay, your stock's $14. So I'm up $3 that way. And then you just have massive upside. But my minimum that I can make is 1550 or 15 now on that trade. That's my minimum. And it's going to keep me in for earnings. And what if I catch this? See, what I'm trying to do is catch this, right? Am I going to catch this? Am I going to catch this? Or am I going to drop $20? Who knows? It's a coin toss. But with money management, you can hedge yourself. I am going to teach that. I'm going to do a class on that. I'll do a video on it. I'll work it in on a Saturday somehow, Saturday video. And then I have someone that's going to help me. We're going to clip all these things out of those Saturday videos and all those live lessons. And then we're just going to put them in clips somewhere. Tesla, it's not falling apart. It's not really doing much, but it's not really doing anything. So I'm a little disappointed there. I really like the way Rivian's acting. I'm going to tell you that now. My thought on Rivian is that I don't like the position on the chart, but I do like what I'm saying. So that's the other thing. Second thing, so I don't really like the position on Rivian. I don't like the chart, but I do like what's coming out of there because of Tesla. So that's definitely something I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be asked about NVIDIA, so let's just do it. You got right to the 55, 12, 22, 55. You should use what you're comfortable with. I think that it's pretty interesting. You stopped there and then you bounced. I don't know if you're going to hold. I really don't. I would have been happier with the undercut and then the lift. That's what I would have been happy with. The undercut and then the lift. And I didn't get that. So, and then we'll go from there. All right. And we'll go from there. All right. So just, we'll figure it out. I'm trying to think what else I really want to cover with you guys. I would really look at the interest rate trade, guys. I can't stress this enough. This would be the easiest trade of your life. If you watch what we went over last night, you watched Saturday's video, it's so simple. I mean, I understand it might sound simple to me because I've seen it play out before, but interest rates go down, banks make more money, smaller banks turn faster. Do it that way, you will. Real estate investment trusts can refinance debt, meaning they make more money off the people that are renting from them. Just think of it that way. Let's get to some questions. 311 in the room. If everyone could stop, drop, roll, and please hit the like button, I sure would appreciate it. Thank you. MMYT. Make my trip. I don't know. What do they do? Wow. It's hard not to like that. I got it all mocked up. I don't know why. But I got it all mocked up. What's going on here? Why do I have it all mocked up? Oh, that's interesting. Isn't it? Yeah, I mean, there's very little to say. I say it. I mean, that's really attractive. You've been basing for 10 years. You have a 10-year base. That's crazy. Yeah, that has a lot of potential. I don't know what they do, but that does have a lot of potential, dude. Look, up, rallies, rejects, sideways, eats up supply, breaks out. You know what else this looks like? You know what this looks like, John? Look at this one. It's not as long, but look at that. This is in that same thing as Goodyear. Same thing as GDDY. Look at that. Look at that break. This thing could be a monster too. I like that, John, that MMYT. I do. PNC, you have to pick your bank. It's like picking your fighter in Street Fighter. You want to pick which one that you're the most comfortable with. Am I buying that? No. Do I think there's anything wrong with it over time? No. I mean, it's pretty textbook stuff when you look at this on a weekly. Like, I would suggest you look at some of these regionals on weeklies. But, instead of marking it here, I mean, you can already see you're over that, so it's kind of silly. But you want to fight this thing, right? You're going to want to fight that, the neckline. So, I mean, do I think that that's not going to go? No, it's probably going to go. But is that the one I want to own? It's not the one I want to own. But I get it. I mean, if that's the one you want to buy, I don't think you're going to get hurt. I really don't think you're going to get hurt, man. BAH. Booz and Hamilton. I never did well trading this guy. But I mean, it's kind of hard to figure out why it just goes up. I'd have to do work on this to understand why I'd want to buy this up here. This would bother me, John. That would vex me a little bit right there. I'm not sure I'd want to play with that. Thanks, Dougie. Appreciate that. Hello from Miami. Internet's so cool. We got people from all over the world. Isn't it cool? Hit the like button. Yep, please. Helps greatly. What's up, Mayor? I have two that I love. So I love this one. I'll tell you why I like these banks. Right. So I'll tell you why I like these banks. So this is where they were allowed. This is from the Alpha Chasers community. I'm just going to leave it up there. So this is where they were allowed to buy assets. This is where the FDIC allowed them to buy assets. And this is what took place after that. Okay. So the one thing I know about this bank is that the FDIC did all their work during when all these regional banks were failing and said, you're allowed to buy assets. And we're going to give you the assets. Government employees don't want to lose their job. So they want to make sure that they're right when they actually do something. And the same thing with FCNCA. It broke out. You got all those assets and you never looked back. Okay? And you never, ever, ever looked back. So I think that's a really big deal. And I definitely think it's something that we need to pay attention to. And I would pay attention to those two. People are playing other ones. Goldman loves this one. It's doing better than mine, for sure. I think you fill that up. I think that fills the gap pretty easy. $3-4 there probably. I mean, that's pretty textbook stuff. I don't even need to put them in. You guys already know your moving averages are here. You already know they're turning. That's how I would look at it. What's up, Guano? What's up, Den? Hey, Paul. Steve. What's up, Cam? CSL. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I don't really like how you rallied, got through, pulled back. I mean, I don't really dig that. Morning, Sir Henry. What's up, Steve? When did you send it, Steve? If you send it, you get an email to the PayPal account. It goes out automatically. Email me, Steve, because I know people are getting them because I sent them out yesterday. Just email me as soon as you can. Hold on. Just email me. There's the email down there so that I can get on that and find out what the heck's going on there. And hopefully I can do it before 9:30, Steve. Just email me. So I'll see the email and then I'll drop it in real quick. You should have already gotten access. It's like within 10, it's like literally if it takes longer than 10 minutes, there's a problem. UNP. Yeah, I mean, when you start looking at this kind of stuff, I don't know. It's kind of interesting, right? Like, why would that be moving now? It's not my kind of trade. I get it. It's just not my kind of trade. I understand why you would look at the transports. I see the volume. I get it. It's just not for me. All that volume in the transports. Like I get this a lot better, but I don't like these kinds of trade. I don't like the wicks. I like this one better. I mean, you've got what? 2 million shares trading. CSX has got 14, 15. I like that better. I mean, if for some reason you like UNP, go for it. But I'm a little overextended there for me, and I'm not crazy about these. We break out, we backfill, we try to rally, we backfill, and then we get up here. And what if we get Matumbo'd again? And that's your control bar. So I don't know why I would buy it right there. At this point, I think you're just better off seeing if it breaks out. NIO, I wouldn't touch it. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't go near these names. I think they're absolute disasters. I think they're absolute dumpster fires. I really do. What's up, Steve? Yeah, I mean, well, they're pretty levered, right? So, I mean, look, Steve, I'm telling you my whole theory. My whole theory was that CCL, RCL, NCL, and NCLH, that they were all going to fall apart, right? That was my thing. They're all going to sell off at the end of the year because it's tax selling and everyone's down. I marked off my anchored VWAP. I was all ready for the tax selling and the slaughter. And then this happened. The implosion of oil. So if you go here and you just mark from here over, right? Remember, 2/3 of it, whether people want to admit it or not, 2/3 of our GDP is oil. It just is. Everything's oil. You know, that's why I always laugh when people like protest it. But all right, so you go from here and you go September 26th, okay, and you're down, and then you go to CCL, and then you would look from there. I mean, what you'll see is when they start realizing from that date on, from here, earnings sells down, and what happens? Right in here, they start realizing that those oil prices are going to stick, and then all this stuff will just start churning. So it's based upon oil. All right, you have a 28% drop in oil prices. It costs gasoline to fire those things up. They don't mind on them. You don't plug them in. So, you know, funny how no one that's in the climate control ever complains about the cruise lines. Anyway, they're just monsters, dude. It's going to continue. It's the easiest way. That is the easiest way, Steve, to play oil. I should have brought that up. You have a really good point. This is the most levered of them all, Steve. This is the most levered of them all. All right, it's the one that Saudi has the most money in. So I don't know what happened 2 days ago. It could have been the OPEC meeting. That was November 30th. OPEC was November 30th, the cuts, and then after that it went. So it could have been November 30th, OPEC. They finally sealed the deal for them. That's what it looks like. Let me just see here. Yeah, I think it was the OPEC meeting, November 30th. And the cuts, Steve. I think that's what did it, brother. What's up, Kazar? I haven't seen you in forever. I don't know. I mean, you want to buy that going into earnings? What do you know that everybody else doesn't know now? I don't know what I'm doing there. I wouldn't touch that now. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It's just not my kind of trade. GME to the moon. I got diamond hands. I'm all about diamond hands. That's what I tell my son. I'm like, I'm cool. I own GME. He still does not think I'm cool, which I don't understand. I think I'm cool. To the moon. Isn't that what the kids say? Reads. Oh, what's up, Gil? What do you got? You got INO.UN. I think Europe's going to cut rates first. Dude, I saw a bunch of stuff, Gil, today on INU. Do I have this one? You're giving me like a Mensa test this morning, Gil. You're killing me. INOUN. Do I have this? I do have it. Yay. Oh, that's interesting. What's it trading at? 30 book? 30 cents on the dollar? Oh, you gave me something to do. I love things to do. Like to look into stuff like this. I love stuff like this. I'm a total nerd with this kind of stuff. Like I'll dig into this. I'll start finding out what properties they own. I got to mark this off. You gave me something to do. I love this kind of stuff. There were tons, Gil. There were tons of upgrades today on European REITs. Tons. of upgrades by investment banks today on European REITs. So I don't know what this is. You guys remember this one, GGP? Is that still around? No, he got rid of it. GPP. I think he got rid of this, right? I don't think this is the same one, is it? Is this the same one he did? He did. Hold on, let me see if it is. Yeah. No, it's not. There was one that Ackman did. He paid 25 cents for. And this might be it, and they might just not be marking it off properly here, or maybe he did some kind of split or something. But he made a fortune off of it because they didn't think they were going to make this one payment. Let me see if I can find it. I thought this was it. Maybe I'm wrong. No, this isn't it. I'll have to find it. Maybe he folded it in GPG or something. I'll find it. But they didn't think that he was going to be able to make the payment, right? And that might be like your situation here on this one, INO. They didn't think that he'd be able to make the payment, right? And like they'd be able to make the mortgage payment. They thought they were going to go to default, and then they didn't. I bet you it's something like that here, where people thought they weren't going to be able to make it. I got to look into it. If it's trading at 30 cents times book, I'll buy it just outright. If it's trading 30 times hard assets or 30 cents times hard assets, I'll just buy it because it's just ridiculous. So let's see. Yep, do it, Steve. Do it. All right, we're there. Thanks, Gil. I'll look into that. I love stuff like that. Walmart, I see. Sir, I don't know what's going on here with Pfizer. I don't know why you would touch it. I really don't. DG, Dollar General, yeah, I would look at this. I like. I set a level to it here. Look at my level. And then look at my level. And then I started doing other stuff. But look at that. I like it. From that gap, I like it. I'm going to have to jump here, guys. I'm neutral to down. NIO, I wouldn't touch. Can you look at Meta? I can. Meta. Yeah, dude, I got to get them out. I've been doing them in sectors. It's funny. That's true. That's very true. This is kind of what you want to see with like Meta. So this is really what you're looking for, right? You're looking for that test. Do I have institutes like, remember, you guys don't remember this, but I'm going to do it quickly. If I'm below 12, I don't want to do a swing trade. If I'm below 22, the bears are in charge. If I break 50, I've lost institutional support, right? 55, 50, whatever you want to use, whatever it takes. So if you break that right here, then you have an issue. So you have institutional support. Maybe you want to buy it where the institutions are trying to what? Support it. It's not my kind of, I don't do that, but you know, if you're like a long-term investor and you like it, yeah, I mean, you should be looking at that. I will look at that because of that. What I'd be more interested in is this. I'd start drilling into it, saying, okay, what did we do? All right, well, we got over the open. How does it act today? Like, now that we've done that, do I gap down and then go back over it? Now, if I do that, that's interesting. If I'm a long-term investor, I'm buying, like, I'll just tell you how I would play this. Let's say I want to own Meta, right? I would just buy it open, market on open. You take this out, I'm out. Gone, lost $5. Next. That's how I would do that trade. I don't see a future for VVOS. I don't know enough about it. 12 hours. Yeah, I'm doing it and I'm parceling it out. It is true. I'm parceling out the 12 hours specifically because I'm getting too much demand and I can't. It's just me. And I'm going to keep it just me. I'll take a look at. Yeah, that was kind of a bust, wasn't it? That whole thing with, I got to make sure I have a name in here. Guys, watch this name today. I think it can get squeezed. I should have this on the list. I think this can get squeezed. APPS, I can't go through all these now. Now I would look at, you're the little guy. Yep, who's the little guy? You're the little guy, I think it is. What's up, Spurgy? All right, can't get through these. Wix is in Israel. Okay. Stacy, I can't go through all that. You're killing me, Stacy. Good morning, though. SJM skyrocketed. Smuckers? Is that SJM? People love Schmuckers. I like Schmuckers. I just don't eat it. I avoid sugar. I'd watch right here, Stace. Just make sure you clear that. What do you got here? Stacy's going crazy with these XLP names. Stacy, watch the beginning of this video on the XLP names. Be real careful there. 485 is your number, Mr. Z. Watch that. Watch that. Wrong. Did my dyslexia kick in? Did I give you the wrong cam? Is this what you want? This? Carlisle Companies Incorporated? This? I don't like that. I'd watch that level. I'm not a fan. Every open's being sold. They'll just say 12 hours now, 25 hours now. I'm not really. Does my screen seem blurry to everybody? Let me know if my screen seems blurry to everybody. Oh, thank you. I don't know enough about that to talk about it intelligently, Yellow. I don't know enough about that merger to talk about it intelligently. XRT looks great. I should put this in there. I don't usually put that one in there. I use XLY. J&J does look toppy to me. Riz is a word? DRN. What's DRN? I'd have to look at what's in here. I'll look at what's in here. Does anyone know the top 10? Let's do the top 10 real quick in that, because he might be right on that. And that might be an easy way for me to tell you what to look at here. Let me do holdings real quick. DRN holdings. Holdings. Give me the holdings. Okay, I don't see the holdings. I gotta get the holdings. Drexia, that's DRV. DRN, DRV. Can you just give me the damn holdings? Excuse my language. Target. I don't really want to own these REITs. I don't like their REITs. Their REITs are not as good as my REITs. My REITs are better. I can see why someone would buy this. I wouldn't. I mean, will it work? It'll probably work. I like my REITs better. Guys, I'm so late. I got to jump. Let me just see if I can see this. No, it's clear to me. Screen is fine. Screen seems fine. Sorry, Cam. I'm going to get rid of the blurry screen. Blurry. Blurry screen. Yep, that's what you're going to do. Mara, they all look toppy to me. I got to jump, guys. Trade to win today.